So just wanted to get a midweek update, especially after Monday with the uncertainty of the CPI report coming out on Tuesday morning. So we started off Monday kind of unsure. We hadn't reached this candle yet, so it was kind of like a 50-50 chance, unless you could predict the future and know what the CPI report was going to be. But it was not that negative. It was basically neutral, and that was enough to cause a bullish sentiment. And we broke that resistance. If we look at the weekly, there really isn't any overhead resistance. So until there's negative news, I would say we're bullish on the short and medium term. I come up with a couple trade ideas over the weekend. I want to follow up where we're at there. So I mentioned Crocs had oversold. It was below the Bollinger Band. Weekly looked like it still had momentum to the downside, so I was a little unsure. But on the daily and on the 4-hour, there was a good indication that there was going to be some sort of rally back to the middle. Yeah, we were under 30 on the daily, and we had already had that green candle when I made that video. And then, yeah, I mean, on the 4-hour, yeah. So anyways, we have made that move. I think I mentioned it could have been about a 5 or 10 bagger. So let's see, the bottom was 73, 79. We're sitting at 80, almost 81 right now. So, I mean, I think that was a good call. I didn't make that trade because, again, I didn't see a weekly signal. So I think that's kind of lesson learned for me is you don't always need the weekly. You do want to zoom out before you zoom in. But at the same time, you're probably going to get your daily indicators changing before you get your weekly indicator changing. So I think this probably would have been a good trade, a risky one at that. I mean, look how bad it fell off. But like I said, reversion trades are a type of trade, and that was basically a quick. Let's see, how many days did that take? Friday. So that's not considered a day trade to in regards to like the regulations, you have to hold something for 3 days, otherwise it's a day trade. So could have easily made a couple bucks here. Chose not to just because I'm already up and I wasn't sure, if so yeah, you got these signals, but if the CPI report had been negative, I think this would have followed the market with a negative sentiment, and then that without having a weekly indicator could have been a little too risky. However, yeah, that was a good trade. I wouldn't hold on to that. It's not a long trade, I don't think, but yeah. Go back to Lululemon. I had kind of mentioned this as a potential trade. The daily indicators looking like the RSI is wanting to go up. The green dots formed. I think on the weekly, we're still within this channel. It hasn't broken out, but it's looking like it's bouncing off the 30 the 30 RSI. So this could be an earlier trade than I thought. I was kind of wanting to wait till earnings. Again, I mentioned 2 trading options here. You can nibble and hope that it starts to break up, and then but that requires you to call the bottom. I don't think that's a great idea, but if you have confidence in TA and what I was looking at with the fall being their highest quarter revenues and just kind of pre-thinking there. I think the other thing is with the CPI not being negative, I think people are starting to realize that the tariffs aren't causing as much pain as thought. So there might be some rotation out into ideas like this. I'm not sure if I'm nibbling yet. I want to give it probably at least another week. If we bounce to here and we don't immediately break back down, I think that's a good indicator. I might get in. So I did say this was a wonky chart, and I don't have a lot in here. I am down right now because we had a pretty big. Everything else went up, and then we went down yesterday. We're sitting along the Bollinger Band. I don't know if I'm going to dollar cost average into this. It looks like it's going. I mean, it is in a negative trend right now, so I don't see any reason to get back in right now. I'm not down too much where I'm going to jump ship, but I'm probably looking for better signs at the moment. I did take profits in this. I did mention that just because I was already up. I wasn't sure what was going to happen. I don't feel too bad about that, although, yeah, obviously, so I sold somewhere around here. So I'm not really crying about a couple dollars gain. I mean, I was in around here. So um, I think at this point, with the CPI not being negative and going into a bull market and Ethereum still doing good things, probably a hold if you're in it. I will do some more digging before I jump in, because again, that would be basically a chasing trade. If we're going fully TA, there's no resistance until about here. So, again, I'll look at that, but if I can get it to bounce down and then back up, that's what I would like to do instead of chasing. Sorry, we're still on the 4 hour here. So, I mean, it's right now, yeah, if you look at it, it's down $2.30, but we're at the upper Bollinger Band, perfectly normal. I still don't see, I mean, we're still out of the broken thing. We're creating a new channel. I don't see anything negative going on here. Yeah. So it is trying to push it to this resistance level over here somewhere. So what does that look like on the smaller charts? Oh. Yeah, upper Bollinger Band, still very positive, parabolic. I'd just say maybe, small movements down of consolidation. That is a 4 hour, so don't take that RSI like too negatively. But on the day, we're over 70. On the week, we're just hitting over 70. How long does it usually stay over 70? I mean, sometimes it stays over, well, yeah, sometimes it stays over 70 for a while. Recently, it's about a month. So, yeah, nothing super negative there. Just we could be looking at a top forming at some point in the next month. So I'm not super into crypto. I do watch a lot of crypto videos. People talk about crypto dominance, and then when Bitcoin dominance, and then when Bitcoin dominance falls, because it's already gained so much that like the new momentum is smaller, even if it is positive, that people start to rotate into Ethereum and then Ethereum into altcoins. So could be a signal that altcoin season is here and Ethereum dominance comes to play. I think that's a good sign for BMNR and crypto in general. Again, some of your biggest movers over the last year, like they're still positive, but the momentum as far, like I think I've mentioned this before, I kind of call it like the sloppy top. Like there's just not a lot of range. Good holds, but maybe not a place to find new money. Yeah, I mean, it's already gone so far. In places like this, it's hard to justify doing this again for another 6 months. So it may just make smaller ranged moves. I mean, let's see. Yeah, I mean, RSI is trying to turn over a little bit. That's not super negative. I mean, this stock's going to do well, but like I said, I think when you've already made so much money, you look for other places to start making the same amount of money, right? That's why I'm looking at Lululemon and other things like that for a long swing trade. Places that have been beat up. If you still get more positive moves, positive like sentiment in general, it's going to have to spread out the breadth, because the market has pretty much gone up only on a couple stocks. You can't do that forever. It's not healthy. I think the increased chance of a September rate cut went from like 80 to 92 or something like that. So I think overall we're looking at a positive environment. I think it's gonna start changing. If it doesn't change, I think it's gonna be really stagnant. Yeah, so we bounced up here, all the way back up here. I mean, again, it's still going in this channel, still positive, just kind of stuck in this range right now. So again, nothing negative, just do you want to buy in here when it's already gone up that high, or do you want to find a new trade? I think is the question of the week. Yeah. So again, these are what I called, if you're already in, either good time to take profits or hold. For me, this is a chase trade at this point. I missed out. And yeah, missing trades hurts as much as losing money, but I've mentioned before they have different consequences. Having the same amount of money in your bank account is different than losing. So it feels the same, but I don't think it is the same. Man, Apple really went for a run after that Tim Cook White House thing. That's crazy how that works. Like, did they really, beat the earnings? Because let's see. Yeah, I mean that's pretty good. That's not amazing. People expect a lot out of a company that's already grown this much. It's hard for people to get excited about a small change. But yeah, him just going and saying he's going to invest, I forget which state he said he was going to do something like, I can't remember if it was 100 million or 100 billion, probably billion if it's Apple, but just going in the news was able to spark some investor positive sentiment. I mean, it's just getting started, I think. So I wouldn't put a lot here because again, you missed the lift off. And that's what I want to get to start doing is to predict these kind of things instead of reacting. The daily's already above 70, so I'm not chasing here. Anyways, that's kind of my midweek update. Is the CPI report was not super negative, so back in bullish territory until we get bad news. I want to say there's another report coming out tomorrow, so we could see if that throws any cold water on anything, but I just don't see it. Again, a lot of the big name brands are kind of in the upper threshold, so I'm not chasing. I'm looking for other stocks that have room to run because that's what we're trying to do is max our profits. I'm sure I could buy this and hold on for like 5-10 more bucks, over the next month or something. But if I could find a stock that could go up 20-30, like, yeah, that's what I'm chasing. Anyways, I will follow up either on Friday or the weekend. I'm going to be eyeballing Lulu and see what it's doing over the next couple days. All right, thanks.